What if I told you that your God was actually Satan? I'm gonna get some flack for that one. Go down to the comments and tell me you want to cut my head off. We're waiting for that one. This is a thought that I was just thinking about this morning, and I was just percolating this idea, and I was just trying to see if this made any sense to me, or if I was just having a random mental breakdown. As you probably know, I've been a Christian for my entire life. And so I know the Bible inside and out. The entire Bible always references God. Now recently I've been coming to this understanding that the word God is very simple. It's the word God that doesn't specifically refer to anyone. It's in Genesis it refers to gods and an us and we, but it never specifically reaches to any God in particular. And as I've been in my studies recently, I've been there's all the different gods and goddesses in different cultures in different parts of the world, and how many are realistic entities and how many are fictionalized, and then, or is it all part of the same energetic game and none of it makes any sense? But then again, it's not that same atheistic mindset of everything is nothing, because if it was that simple, then this witchcraft and black magic wouldn't exist, and it obviously does exist, because when you start putting out spells and curses and you start affecting the world around you, and you start going into it, and you notice it does exist. So it's not as simple as there's nothing and everything, there is no God and there is no this and everything is nothing. But it's not as simple as there's a man in a white suit with a white beard and playing a ukulele on a cloud. It's somewhere in the middle, as I've said before. Obviously, this is all my opinion, and these are all my opinions. Disclaimer: I shouldn't have to say that, but anyway, disclaimer is all my opinion. It amuses me how Christianity and Islam, they seem to just hate each other, and yet they get along so much. From a Christianity, there's different divisions of Christianity, but it's all the same thing. It's how different people look at it. So the Baptist religion seems more in line with Islam in just the way they practice, as in this is how it is. There is one God. There is no God besides the one God. And if you don't believe me, you shall burn in hell. There's non-denominational Christianal. I said Christianal. There's non-denomination Christian backgrounds that it's all very it's a sandals on a beach, hunky dory. Everything is great. Everything is awesome. I said everything is awesome. I'm probably gonna get copyright strike for that, but anyway. And then there's the Catholic religions, which take a lot of witchiness and a lot of occult symbolisms, and they practice their Christian faith with it, which I do not approve. I do not approve, Catholics. I do not approve. Anyway, taking our precious pagan imagery to suit you. The idea that the Christian God and the Muslim God is one and the same. That's a thought that would offend a lot of people. I do not care if you're offended. This is all my opinion. But let's just think about that idea. Because in Islam, there's a reference to Jesus Christ, and then in Islam, in how they reference Jesus. And then in Christianity, there's no reference to their Muhammad character, although everything Muhammad does in Islam is quite possibly what Isaiah does in Christianity. It's one and the same. It's just how you look at it and where you are in the world and how it comes out. And it just comes out in different ways in different parts of the world to different people. But, and I'm not necessarily saying either side like didn't happen. I'm not saying anything in the Quran or anything described in the Quran or anything described in the Bible isn't false. Because when I was a practicing Christian, I've had enough experience through that to kind of like I knew there was some truth to it. It just didn't work with me, and I didn't. As I started coming into the dark side, the dark side, come to the dark side. I just had to say. I just it's not really that dark. It's just we use a lot of dark imagery, and it's fun to use a lot of dark imagery. It's because maybe I'm fooling myself, and maybe I'm just part of Lucifer's grand plan to indoctrinate all of you young children into the occult, so we may bring about the apocalypse and the end of the world. I'm not, but maybe. Back to my original point. Something I've been thinking about recently. I've been having this grand appreciation for destruction. And if I haven't like studied or like done any dealings with a specific entity named Abaddon, but from my understanding, he's definitely an entity I'd be interested in working with, because in understanding every entity that you work with, when you make contact or when you have an interest in making contact, they become a part of you, and you become sort of a gateway for them in this world, and it begins to affect your mind, your soul, your spirit, your body, and as you're walking, and as you're walking in this world, the way you see things, it begins to be yes. And that was a random thought. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I've been having a very weird, not weird, but appreciation for destruction. Destruction being the purest form of creation in all any name he's known by. Satan, not Lucifer, not any devil or any demon or any angel that you know of. The essence of Satan. And he's known by a couple of different names, a few different cultures, a couple of Shaitan, I think is one name, and as an essence, he is pure chaos, pure anarchy, not hatred, because any of these entities do not form emotions, but he is pure destruction, the purest form of destruction. And when you think of things as destruction being the purest form of creation, quite possibly, because calling upon Satan it isn't something you necessarily want to do, because he's a destructive force, and a force to be reckoned with. He's not necessarily like a demon or an entity that you can like work with, or an entity that help you in your progression. He has no considerations. Satan has no. He doesn't necessarily care. And notice I keep saying he, because he is such a masculine force. He would definitely be a he, but nevertheless, beyond gender, it is a destructive force of all its purposes. it's not someone you can necessarily offer anything to, and he's not necessarily someone who you can make a deal with. If you call him into your being, if you call him around, he'll probably just destroy everything around you. If you call on him, he'll probably, like, if he listens to you at all, he might listen to you. Again, maybe I'm just a little scared. Maybe I'm scaring myself. Maybe I'm scaring myself. I don't know. But I don't necessarily feel the need to call on him either. But it's more of like if you command anything of him, if you ask anything of him, he'll just look at you with this, like, if the force of Satan were to possess a human being, if that human being doesn't completely explode, that human being would just look at you. Okay, that was weird. The camera just kind of cut off on me, and hopefully it recorded everything I was just saying. It felt weird because the camera's never usually like shut off randomly like that, and my camera never has like shut off randomly like that. And anytime it ever shut off like that, it never made a noise, and it just made a noise beforehand. So I'm pretty sure that was a message for me that the stuff I'm talking about, I'm getting off topic, and I need to get back to what I'm saying, and the rest of what I was about to say is going to be for later in another video. The God that you serve is actually Satan. That'll be the title. Oh, I can feel the hate. I can feel it. I think that's going to be it for this video, so I'll see you next week. So, peace and love.